Hi, my name's Emer and I'm striving for self-sufficiency, also striving for better preparedness. I've not done a prepper pantry video in ages, so why do I prepare? 2020 was the big eye-opener for me because I was not prepared at that time, and it was really disheartening going food shopping when the shelves were empty and going from supermarket to supermarket and it was the same everywhere, and just that sort of feeling of dread. It just wasn't very nice. Around the same time, I also joined a government resilience and emergency division, and I spent 3 years in that team. That was also another eye-opener, and it really, in general, it opened my eyes about preparedness, the importance of it, and it doesn't have to be a big doomsday scenario that we're preparing for. A lot of my work was based around reporting and situational awareness, and while I can't go into loads of detail, there was things I was made aware of, just some very basic things like that happening in the UK, things like severe weather. That's sort of generally how I got interested in preparedness to begin with. So maybe I'll go into more detail about that another time without getting in trouble. But it was probably the most interesting job I've ever had. So I store my food in different places. So I've got a pantry area, I've got kitchen cupboards, and I've got this racking area. But I mostly keep food downstairs in those areas, and the racking was sort of annoying me. It's basic racking. I think we got it from Argos. It's really good, and I sort of hide it with this curtain just to sort of keep it, if you've got visitors in or trades or whatever, it just keeps things a little slightly more hidden. So I sort of rearranged it. So I think I've got tools. I've got sort of tools on the bottom shelf. I think the second shelf up is non-food items, and I've got my gardening bits that I keep there. And the rest is sort of food and water, and I think top shelf is toilet roll and kitchen roll. I think every prepper is different and everybody preps in different ways and for different reasons. But with my food preps, I kind of let the shelf dictate a little bit. So I don't necessarily think about, I need 3 months worth of food. I think the way I see it is that certain food items I might have 3 months worth, and certain food items I've maybe got 3 weeks worth. It really just depends. And maybe that's not the right way to do it, but that's just how I do it. So before I went food shopping today, I made a list and I went through I haven't done it in ages, but I went through all the cupboards. I opened every cupboard door and I looked to see what was in there. And visually, if I sort of see I've got one of something or maybe just one or two, then in my head I know I need to buy more of that. Maybe that's not a great system, but it's just sort of how I work. I don't really like having one of something. As they say, one is none. So I feel really strongly about having a working pantry. I hate food waste. I just don't see the point in being stuck with food that you don't like. No judgment, but I personally don't understand why anyone would want to buy those army ration sachets. They just don't sound very appealing. I'm sure there's good logic in it, and maybe they're more cost effective, or there's maybe they don't need as much water or whatever. I try and only stock things that I like, and I know that best before dates, it's only best before, but it's still nice to use things up before it gets to that point, or maybe 6 months after that point. I don't want to be stuck with something for ages. I've probably not explained that very well, but that's just how I work. My partner's not a prepper in the slightest. He doesn't really understand why I want 6 jars of honey in the house and that sort of thing. But it's that peace of mind, that sense of security. I just don't want to have that feeling of dread ever again, that, we don't have enough. Or, we don't know what the future holds. Oh my goodness, I don't know when the shops are going to recover, or, whatever. That if there's a sense of uncertainty, it's nice to know, we've got supplies in. I just took some footage of what the pantry looked like before my food shop, and I used to have loads of tins of chopped tomatoes, and I kind of let it run down. I think I wasn't sure at the start of the year if maybe we were going to move house this year, and I didn't like the thought of having, I know it sounds silly, but I didn't want to have too much, an excessive amount. So I let some things run down. I've been trying to use things up in the freezer. So some foods I was just trying to use up a little bit, and I might just reorganise that pantry at some point, because I don't think it makes tons of sense, the things that I don't know, not totally happy with the layout, but that's by the by. I will show you what I bought today. So these are the shelf stable items. I did buy freezer and fridge items as well, but they're not, I mean, if there was a power outage, they wouldn't really count. You know, I like having barbecue sauce. I like having a few tubs of them in. I add it to the pizza base. I mix that in with the tomato puree. This is the first time in a long time that I've bought olive oil. I saw that it was less than £7 a bottle, and I thought I would treat thought I'd treat ourselves to olive oil. But yeah, I've not bought it in months and months because it's just been so expensive. So yeah, I think it was around the £6.50-ish mark, which is still like excessive because I remember when it used to be £5 or less, but that was a long time ago. I quite like these Aldi tikka masala curry jars. So we would have maybe like one a week or one a fortnight. They're very nice. Baked beans, we go through phases of eating tinned food. So this is why I've not really bought tons. So I usually keep in about 8 tins of these normally in our pantry. Yeah, chopped tomatoes, they were running low, and then I thought, oh, I'll buy some more. Tomato puree, it's great for things like bolognese and pizza bases. We've started buying a lot more of the Aldi tinned meals. I bought just one of each just to start with, just to see what they were like. And my partner really likes the chili con carne, and sometimes he'll just have a tin for lunch or something. Even I was disorganised one day and I didn't have lunch ready, so I grabbed a tin of minced beef and onion. I just had half a tin. But yeah, it's quite tasty. Like, we've taken it camping before, but I just think, oh, that's really good to have in. You know, we could throw it on the gas cooker if there was a power outage, or use the wood burning stove hob top. It's just nice to have some meals in. You know, they've got a good long date on them. We do actively eat them, so I'm quite happy having quite a few of them in. I think they're about £2 a tin, so not super cheap, but you know, if you're just eating them every now and again, it's not so bad. I have mixed feelings about baked beans or sausages, but I tend to eat it camping with a boiled egg. But my partner really likes them, so got a few more of those in because we only had one left. I've not bought tons of flour. We would use it mostly to make our own pizza bases. We've kind of got out of the habit of making pizza recently. Years ago, I bought too much, and then it sat for ages and it got infested. So I'm a bit funny about, it's one of those things, I don't want it to go out of date, you know, that way. I just want to have like enough in. So if it's not something that we're using loads and loads, just kind of want what we need. I don't want excessive amounts of flour. Porridge oats, absolutely love porridge oats. I don't understand how people can buy those little sachets. I just think they're a con. Like, buy basic porridge oats. These are so tasty. I have them every morning. Been eating oats for years, even like well before bodybuilding. I absolutely love them, and you don't need much to feel full. I just think they're a really great prep to have. Obviously only if you like oats. A really good filling meal. I mean, at the minute I'm eating less, so I have about 25 grams in the morning. I know other people will have like huge bowls of oats, but it keeps me going. I would highly recommend eat your oats. Yeah, get some oats in your preps. UHT milk, we actively use this, so it's good to have in. We have a milkman, but sometimes we run out, and I've just never bothered to like sort out ordering. So it's just handy having these in. So we kind of go between milkman milk and then UHT milk, sort of our laziness. I don't even really, and people can be snobby about milk, but I don't really notice a difference, sorry. Especially when I only really use it in my porridge, so it's all the same to me. These are, I know it's processed shite, but I quite like having these. I have them in my car preps. I have been having them as like a post-workout snack recently because it's just quick and handy. Yeah, they're a little bit calorific, but that can be a good thing sometimes. Obviously not a breakfast substitute, but just good as a snack, or just good to, have a little something. I don't know what the date's like on them. Okay, so next year. So yeah, I just quite like having them, and they seem to just disappear quickly in our house, so that's why I got a few more of those. Some squash. So this is my issue. I'll buy loads of something and we'll have it for ages, and then like all of a sudden it's just disappeared. So you find yourself, oh no, I've ran out. So that is poor planning on my part, but I've got some more in now, so we're stocked up for a little bit. We did have plenty of pasta in, but I just thought I'll get one more bag. Just get one more bag, and we're not huge pasta people. Every now and again I'll make carbonara. I feel like with pasta you get less bang for your buck, so I would always opt for potatoes or rice because it's more filling, whereas this is quite calorific, but for a very small portion. So that's my personal reason. I'm not that, and I just find rice and potatoes are just easier to digest, but I know some people are big fans of pasta, so apologies if I've offended you. And then non-food items, at one point I had loads of wipes in, and then they've just disappeared because I don't really like using them, but they're very handy for the dog. So who gets like tear-stained face. I have them for the dog, but then they're also good, I suppose, in an emergency just to keep clean. We could use those too. I wasn't really happy that we didn't have tons of shampoo in, so we've topped that up, and then we only had one or two deodorants in. I will at some point make my own. I keep talking about that with some bicarb. So I've just done loads of talking. Let me know if you prep differently. I know I'm sort of winging it. I wouldn't really call myself a proper prepper, but I like the sense of security it gives me just having some extra supplies in the house. Please let me know, if you've got any advice. Do you prep in a certain way? Have you got a method? Do you like to keep a certain amount of food in, or is it, I don't know, how do you prep? How do you sort your food preps? What do you do differently? If you'd like to see more prepper related videos, please let me know. I know my content is a bit mixed. There's gardening, there's self-sufficiency goals, and then there's the preparedness as well. But yeah, let me know if it's something that you're interested in seeing more of, or anything I should try more of. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.